Hi everybody, this is the Driftless Journal and current events for Friday, October 9th, 2020. We're going to start out by reading an obituary for one of our longtime residents who passed away recently. Her name was Julia Tallman. Julia Elizabeth Schoenfembühl Tallman, 97, of Olwine, passed away on Monday morning, October 5th, 2020, with her 3 children at her bedside at the Asahaugen Senior Services in Decorah. Funeral Mass of Christian burial is for the immediate family only. The funeral mass will be recorded and posted on the Jameson Schmitz Funeral Home website following the service. Ray Atwood will officiate. She was born July 10th, 1923 at rural St. Lucas, Iowa, the daughter of Joseph and Anna Langreck Schoenfembühl. She graduated from St. Lucas High School in 1941 and from the Columbus Hospital in Chicago, Illinois in 1945 with a degree in nursing. She served as a cadet nurse at Battle Creek, Michigan for injured Navy World War II veterans. Julia worked at the New Hampton Hospital and then for Dr. Hess in West Union. Julia married John Joseph Tallman October 21st, 1946 at St. Luke's Catholic Church in St. Lucas. They lived in Dubuque for 5 years and moved to Olwine in 1952. Julia raised her children and began work at Mercy Hospital in Olwine in 1960 and worked there until 1989. She worked for Dr. Anthony Leo in Olwine from 1990 to 2006. In addition to working as a nurse, Julia loved watching Johnny Carson while crocheting blankets, capes, animals, pillows, and afghans for family and friends. She was an excellent cook and baker, and her family always chose to celebrate holidays at her home. She loved writing and sending cards to anyone who needed words of encouragement, and she enjoyed reading books about public figures. Julia was a member of Sacred Heart Catholic Church and Rosary Society, Olwine. Her last 10 years were spent at Asahaugen Senior Services in Decorah. Julia's family includes 2 daughters, Carol Stoker of Cresco and Charlene McMahon of Enola, Pennsylvania, Mike Tallman of Castalia, and close friend Dr. Anthony Liu of Olwine. She had 13 grandchildren. All right, we will miss Julia. She was a very good nurse. And now we continue on with the Driftless Journal. The front page is local youth earns award and raises awareness with Alzheimer's essay. And you may recognize her because she's the daughter of one of the residents here. Her name is Maddie Putnam, and her father is a resident here. It says, the Alzheimer's Foundation of America has named Maddie Putnam of Decorah as a runner-up in its National 2020 Teens for Alzheimer's Awareness College Scholarship Essay Contest and awarded her a $500 college scholarship. She was chosen from nearly 2,000 entries nationwide for her essay about her experiences with her father, who lives with Alzheimer's disease, and how it has impacted her life. Maddie's heartfelt essay about her father, his battle with Alzheimer's, the lessons she learned from those experiences will help raise Alzheimer's awareness and provide strength and support to other families who are dealing with the same challenges. And we can continue on to the essay. Let's see. Wow. I am ripping every page. I am so sorry. Trying to find, where are we looking for? Page 23. My gosh. I should have gone from the back in. All right, here we go. So we're gonna, let's see. continue with the article here. Maddie's essay focuses on her father's battle with Alzheimer's disease and how it impacted her and her family. Her father was diagnosed with young onset Alzheimer's disease when she was just 12. She described her father as having been a well-spoken attorney who spent a lot of time with her, helping her with school and cooking or watching golf together. Not long after her father was diagnosed, he stopped driving and working. Maddie and her mother eventually had to move her dad into a nursing home until he could get better care. Now, although her father is still physically active, he barely speaks. She visits her father almost every day, sometimes just sitting or walking silently. Occasionally, her father will call her by one of her old nicknames, and this reassures her that he is still with her. Maddie wishes to make sure no other child has to go through what she had, so she's trying to raise money for Alzheimer's and through the Alzheimer's walks. Let's see. So we're very happy for her that she's received that scholarship. She is so deserving and such a nice young lady too. Also on the front page, Spring Grove family grows mushroom business. Wow. Any mushroom called lion's mane sounds potentially lethal, but Tanner Sanis knows the fungi is not only edible, but delicious and healthy. He grows lion's mane and also sells them through Reconnected Farms, which is located on his family farm in Spring Grove. Though he's only been growing mushrooms since this spring, he's already turned them into a new revenue stream for his family. I grew the first batch of mushrooms on my countertop and then fell down the YouTube rabbit hole while trying to learn more about growing them. It just blossomed from there. All right, well, here's an example of what they're growing. I wonder if they're any good and how to best prepare them. All right, on to the next page. We've got Dr. Michael Ulsterholm will give a farewell distinguished lecture about COVID-19. There are 3 new regents on Luther's Board of Regents. Let's see. Iowa receives a federal grant to support rural revitalization through historic preservation and community development. Speech judging certification meeting will be held on October 7th. I guess they need to learn how to judge the speeches because they can't do them in person. Let's see. The meeting certifies and recertifies any adult to judge the contests for speech and costs $5. You need no experience to attend the meeting. We're looking for enthusiastic individuals who want to help students build their communication skills through speech. The certification meeting provides an excellent opportunity to learn about the Iowa High School Speech Association and all of the different contests that can be judged. All right. Well, that's a good program because lots of kids learn how to get up in front of someone and talk, and that's a life skill that you should all have. All right. Oh, here's some more mushrooms. Keeps going on the mushrooms. They look kind of interesting. I don't know if we can actually see this photo real good, but can you see that? There's a bunch of mushrooms. And there is Tanner with his dog, and look at all those mushrooms he's growing. Wow. That's awesome. A new entrepreneur finding a new way to make money. Okay. In Echoes of the Past, on the front, we have the Big Canoe Threshing Crew. And it says, Helen Stegan of Waukon shared this vintage photo of a threshing crew of big canoe neighbors in the 1940s. We've got pictured from the left, Edgar Nelson Lloyd Ford, Orlin Galvey, Lester Pfister, Orville Iverson, Ron Galvey, Harris Hansen, Ole Nelson, Oscar Tilleros, Donald Pfister, Julius Quanrud, Norris Gable, Burton Gavley, Lester Ellingson, Raymond Gable, and Harold Quanrud. Okay, late 40s. Those look like a bunch of guys who are gonna go work real hard out in the hot sun. So I hope there's a good lunch waiting for them. Okay, 1920, 100 years ago, boxing, wrestling, and fast horses here. The Hesper school teachers have finished the first month of classes. They are pleased with attendance records. Among the teachers this fall are Miss Casterton in the primary room, Miss Feltis in the intermediate, and Mr. Klink for the upper room. That's a great last name. Dr. Shimming's Pigeons, which started from Decorah for St. Louis on September 25th, have not been heard from since. What? Adverse winds handicapped all the birds north of St. Louis. What does that mean? They just fly away, never to be seen again? We want to know. B.A. Slocum has sold the Winneshiek Hotel to Edwin Boss of Oldline. Possession will be given January 1st, 1921. Mr. Boss owns the Mealy at Oldline, along with other hotels in Boone, Esterville, Sac City, Storm Lake, Algona, and Boone. Of note, the Winneshiek Hotel building itself is owned by the citizens of Decorah. It is the contents which are being sold. I did not know that. Here is a great recipe for apple sandwiches from Mrs. J.H. Voris of Decorah. Chop 2 peeled apples, add 1 cup chopped raisin, 1 cup chopped pecans, the strained juice of a tiny lemon, that's kind of not specific, and 2 teaspoons sugar. Mix well and spread between thin slices of buttered bread. Sounds good. The Anton Burnat's Post of the American Legion is going to entertain the world in Decorah with one of the greatest days Northeast Iowa has ever seen. It's American Legion Day, October 11th, 1920. Boxing and wrestling and the running of fast horses will make up the sports program. A 25-cent barbecue dinner is being served at noon. A grand parade is planned with the veterans of the Great War float, the Decorah Drum Corps, and the Merchants Band. A tug of war will be a real crowd pleaser. The Irish, managed by Ed Keefe, will pull with the Norsks, managed by Ben Corson. Horseshoe pitching, a bicycle riding act, and much more are planned. Come early and stay late. Let's see. A California tourist sleeper has joined the CM and St. Paul Railroad in Conover next week. Make reservations early for travel to Kansas City and parts after. For sale, a beautiful 120-acre farm 2 miles from town with rich black soil on clay. 3 fine horses, 12 high-grade cattle, chickens, a full set of machinery, and 4 tons of hay, priced only at $6,500. That sounds like a deal. Mrs. Mary Niblock reports her mother is raising prunes on the old Patrick Kernan homestead in Lafayette Township of Almaquy County. The prune tree had been planted with a number of apple trees after the orchard had been practically destroyed by a tornado some years ago. This is the first season bearing prunes. I thought prunes were just dry plums, so now I'm confused, but I'm glad for her. 30 years ago, John Surslin, well-known Frankville Township farmer, met with a serious accident last Sunday afternoon. He was driving on the paved road on his way home to Ossian when he turned his car onto the shoulder to avert hitting another car. The car was so badly demolished when it went over an embankment. He was rendered unconscious, and it was thought at first that he had been fatally injured. A phone call went to Decorah for the J.M. Boehm ambulance, but when it arrived, Mr. Sursland had already been taken to Ossian for medical treatment. He recovered and escaped serious injury. The Decorah Rod and Gun Club held its first trial of the season over at the hitching grounds a week ago. Leo Broghammer of Clay Hill, who made a perfect score in the shooting, made 25 shots, breaking that number of clay pigeons. It appears Leo will make the other members hustle. The number of rural teachers at the county schools in the county this fall total 131. 3 are men and the rest on the list are ladies. It is now possible to drive on a paved roadway from Decorah through Postville and Clermont to West Union, with the paving project now complete on number 18. The road was open to traffic last week. The first night game of football ever played by a Decorah team saw the Decorah Vikings defeated at Mason City by a lopsided score of 52-0. Whoa! Some 4,000 were in attendance to witness the inauguration of night football over in Mason City. The field was reportedly as light as day, and every play could be closely followed. In regard to the game itself, it might be said that Decorah was hopelessly outclassed. Luther College will celebrate Foundation Day this year, October 18th and 19th. Highlights of the weekend are a big football game between Luther and Buena Vista. Okay. Adolph Gervery has a special sale on peaches priced at 59 cents a case. Stop by at 118 Washington Street and see the display window full of peaches. And stop at the Connor Knight department store for an attractive 7-piece blown glass crystal water pitcher set in a very attractive pattern. Price tag, 37 cents. 1 set per customer while 100 sets last. Well, I bet those sold out real fast. And that's going to wind things up for us today. Thank you so much for listening with us. We'll see you again next Friday. Thank you.